Episode 14, and this week we start looking at decentralized finance. I have Along from MinSwap talking about his Decentralized Exchange and a couple of the cool features that are being built out on it. Hey everyone, and welcome to the Learn Cardano podcast, the podcast where we break down all the ins and outs and all those concepts of Cardano so you can start playing around with decentralized finance. And that is what we're going to get into in this podcast episode. So make sure you stay tuned for the interview that is coming right up. But let's start off with a review. This one here is from Australia as well. Thank you for spending the time to put these podcasts out. I'm very new to the crypto scene, even though I've been in IT for more than 15 years. Your content is easy to digest and very informative. I'll be downloading each episode. All the best with your channel. And thank you so much for that podcast review. If you do enjoy our podcast series, please make sure you leave a 5-star rating and review on the Apple Podcast Network. It really helps with the discoverability of the podcast for anyone else that is searching for Cardano or cryptocurrency related podcasts. Now, in other show related stuff, I've upped the schedule in regards to the YouTube content that I've been producing. So there are a lot more video interviews and tutorials that are going up on YouTube at the moment. I'm doing about 3 a week at the moment. So if you like digesting even more podcast content all about Cardano, you can jump onto our YouTube channel and digest even more there. Links will be in the show notes. You can find them on our Twitter profile and all over the place. You'll probably find the link to it in the podcast app. You should be able to click on a link somewhere in there and you'll be able to find our YouTube channel as well. All right, let's get into the news for this week. First up, in regards to news, if you hadn't noticed, the markets have crashed. They've crashed a little bit here and there, and if you look back at Bitcoin's all-time high from 63,000, it's dropped down to close to 30,000. And as Bitcoin climbs and drops, so does the rest of the cryptocurrency market. Now, if you look deeper into this, you would have seen the hash rate, or the amount of power that is required to validate the Bitcoin network, had dropped dramatically. And this was because China had banned the mining of Bitcoin within their country. And what has happened is that the miners that are based in all these provinces around China have promptly packed up all of their equipment, all their mining hardware, and started moving offshore. Some have moved off to Kazakhstan, which is west of China, and then some have also moved to the United States. I'm sure many more of them have picked up and moved to other locations as well, but of course they'll be looking for cheap electricity to power their Bitcoin mining machines. Now, as the hash rate power has dropped over the last 2 weeks, we should see the difficulty rating for mining Bitcoin change as well, because that automatically adjusts depending on how much hash rate power is available. So we will see a fluctuation there in the price. Now, on the flip side, Cardano has absolutely no issue like this. It's a completely different protocol, like I've mentioned in podcast episode number 2. If you listen to that one, I compare proof of stake with proof of work. And proof of stake, which Cardano is based on, doesn't need this massive amount of computing power and electricity to validate its blockchain and operate various validation of transactions. It is a huge advantage for Cardano, and you can see how centralized some of the mining operations are and how much power a country can have over the mining operations. If China wants to shut things down, which it has, all of that hash rate power has been removed from China and Bitcoin itself. Now, if you look at Cardano, the network of stake pool operators is so diverse and so spread out around the world that it'll be incredibly hard for a single country to just say no and take out a large portion of the network. You can find stake pool operators based all around the world using all sorts of different hardware, from home computer equipment all the way to cloud infrastructure. So that is a huge advantage that Cardano has over some of these other blockchains. In other news, if you missed it, Charles Hoskinson was on the Lex Fridman podcast. Now, Lex Fridman is a computer scientist and an AI researcher at MIT, and they both sat down and had a 5-hour interview session. If you do have the time, if you do have the stamina to go through it, there are some really good highlights, and I may go into some of those topics at a later date. Now, the big Cardano 360 update happened at the end of June, as it always does, and this month was packed with so much information. But one of the little highlights I'd just like to point out is the summit that is coming up at the end of September. So they haven't officially announced a date yet, but it'll be sometime at the end of September. I'm assuming after that Alonzo launch, but you can now register your interest for it at summit.cardano.org. There isn't too much more information just yet, but I'm sure we'll find out a little bit more as time progresses. There was also more talk about the partnerships that were happening with Cardano, one with Nervos, which I mentioned in an earlier podcast episode, but another one with the Orion protocol. Now, the Orion protocol is a terminal which aggregates every centralized exchange, decentralized exchange, and swap pool all into a single decentralized platform. It's a little bit of a mouthful, and I will be diving deeper into the Orion protocol because it really does look like a one-stop shop for any sort of trading that you may be doing. I'll be diving into it a lot deeper and doing some video tutorials around it, so please make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel and you'll find out more about the Orion protocol. Now, that's it for this week's news updates around Cardano and the Cardano ecosystem. Now, let's get into this interview with Long. He talks about his platform that he's building, his decentralized exchange called MinSwap. We break down a couple of the concepts around centralized exchanges, decentralized exchanges, automated market makers, and much more. So let's get into this interview. All right, so joining me on this podcast episode all the way from Vietnam is Long Nguyen from the MinSwap project. Thank you so much for joining me on this podcast episode. So first off, Long, where in Vietnam are you?
I'm living in the capital city of Vietnam. It's Hanoi.
Ah, nice. So before we get started into actually understanding what MinSwap is, we should probably talk about how decentralized exchanges work and how centralized exchanges work, and then all the automated market makers that form DEXes as well. So can we first start off by talking about centralized exchanges such as Binance and Bittrex? And Long, can you explain to us how that actually works?
Yeah, so if you are into crypto, you probably know about centralized exchange. It's the first place you buy crypto. So why is there is DEX? Is because in a centralized exchange, you have to give the control of your funds to the exchange, and in a DEX, you have direct control over your fund, and you exchange the crypto directly in your wallet. So your money never leaves your wallet in a DEX. The second thing about centralized exchange is if you want to list your coin there, your new token there, you have to go through a long process, and it's cost money. But in a DEX, anybody can list any token. So it's a great place to bootstrap your new project.
And list a coin and get on a DEX quite easily. It's a very interesting model and interesting way of doing things. So in regards to how the centralized exchange works and how a decentralized exchange works in terms of making orders, a centralized exchange will has an old model or a regular model of order books where people buy and sell and you're bidding the prices and whatnot. Whereas a decentralized exchange is a little bit different. Can you talk about how that works?
So in decentralized exchange, we have a concept called automated market maker, where where people with a fund with the liquidity can pull together and the pooled fund is will be exchanged by an AMM algorithm. You just need to provide an equal amount of token A and token B, and then you can earn trading fee based on the trading activity in the pool. And it's just that how easy it is to provide liquidity in a centralized exchange. You need knowledge. You need to know how much money should be provided on which price. But in DEX, you just need to provide an equal amount of 2 tokens, and that's why DEX is the best place to launch a new token.
Okay, so for myself, I've never actually used a decentralized exchange, so I'm just trying to understand the process. So essentially, I have to provide one token, such as the ADA, and then another one that's minted on ADA, on Cardano, whatever it may be, same equal amount. And then I get fees off that. But what I'm trying to understand is how do I trade that specifically, or do I just sit back and earn fees from other people trading my tokens?
Yeah, that's interesting. You can anybody can become a market maker and earn trading fee. In a centralized exchange, only professional, institutional market maker earn trading fee. But on a DEX, anybody can be a market maker, more like a liquidity provider, because we have an automated market maker. But it's like anybody can earn passive income from their idle money.
Right. So I don't need to worry about the price of these certain tokens. So I just provide it, and I'll sit back and just wait for rewards or the whatever tokens that come in. Is really?
Exactly. But you have to worry about impermanent loss.
What is that? Can you explain that?
Impermanent loss is a concept where if the token price move widely, if the token price move too much, then you will lose some money because it's a value captured by the arbitrator.
Yeah.
So it's an advanced concept, but you have to understand that to provide liquidity, because it's a risk of being an LP.
Yeah, okay. So arbitrage pricing, I understand. So from one exchange to another, the price might differ a little bit. So you can trade against different exchanges to actually make a profit off the same thing. So you buy some Bitcoin here, sell it over there. Because the price is different, you make a profit. So you're saying that on a decentralized exchange, when the price of those two tokens differs too much from where you started, you could make a loss. Could you also make a profit off that then?
No, you will only lose. But
because the other tokens go the other way. Yep. Makes sense. Okay. Interesting. So what exactly is MinSwap building then? So you're building a decentralized exchange. What factors are you taking part in, and what do you have to put together?
We are building a DEX, but we are building more than a DEX. We are building a yield farming platform, a launchpad platform, which IFO and maybe ISO. And we also built many more features like a stable swap pool or a lottery, and we are also building a DAO, a governance. So people with Mint token can vote on protocol changes.
Okay, so we've got to probably step back, because I know a lot of people that are listening to this have not heard of any of these concepts before. So ISO and IFO have been thrown around a little bit. So first, let's explain a little bit about what that is. Can you describe what they both are?
IFO is an initial farm offering, where it's a model to earn new token by staking some LP token. So it's better than IDO, because in IDO computer bot can buy the token on the first second, then they dump on the community. But in IFO, it's safer because you earn the token based on the amount you stake. And the ISO is also a similar concept, but it's only applicable to Cardano because you stake token in a stake pool and you earn the new token, and the project owner gets the reward, the stake pool reward.
Yeah, from ADA, which you'll be staking to the pool. I heard SundaySwap is that's how they're doing their initial token offering with the ISO. Interesting. And you also said you're building a yield farm platform on there as well. So that's where you can stake a particular token and earn a certain percentage back. Is that correct?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. All right. It sounds like you're going to be extremely busy building all of this and then a DAO on top of that as well. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
There are a ton of things coming up. Yeah.
Yep. So how is this all being done? I've seen a little bit of code on a demonstration video that you put out the other week. And I saw that it looks like you're interfacing with smart contracts. So you're doing a little bit of Plutus smart contract coding, and I can see the simulator running in the background of that video. Can you explain what's going on and how you're doing all this at the moment?
This is going to dive a bit deeper into the technical part. So when first we create a factory UTXO with an NFT token to manage all the liquidity pool, and then when users create a new liquidity pool, they will create a new UTXO. So one pool is represented by one UTXO. And when user swap, we just spend that UTXO and create a new one with the new funds, and we keep the constant product of the token A, token B. So that's how it's going behind the scenes.
Where did you get the concept behind this? Is this based off other swap programs or swap platforms out at the moment?
Yeah, I think everyone know it. It's Uniswap.
Yep, pretty much. So it's basically using the same, algorithm that Uniswap is using for the constant market maker.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, it's very efficient and proven.
Yeah, well, they're one of the biggest ones out there at the moment. Now, I don't know about PancakeSwap that much, the Binance version of it. Does it differ that much, or is it pretty much identical as well?
Well, it's pretty much Uniswap code. Like if you go into it, and if you go into GitHub and you look at PancakeSwap code, you still see Uniswap variable name thrown around.
I did hear that. I never looked it up myself, but it's good to actually hear it from someone else that the constants and the variables weren't changed. Why didn't they change it? It's like,
I don't know, because they don't need to do that. Because the Uniswap code is GPL license, so anybody can do that.
Yeah, completely.
As long as as long as they are open source.
Okay. Now, along with the platform with MinSwap, you're also offering a token. So what is the token and what's the utility around it? And why would someone need the token?
Oh, this is interesting. We put a lot of research into the tokenomics. So the mint token is we have a heavy mint rate in the beginning. So the early supporter get tons of mint token, and this is the reward because they take on the risk of impermanent loss that I talked before, right? So they will get lots of impermanent loss, and they will get tons of mint token back to compensate for them. And later on, the mint token can be used to vote on protocol changes. It can be staked into a profit sharing pool where if you stake mint token, you will get 1% of the trading fee, right? So it's like a dividends in a traditional stock market.
Very interesting. So that's a good way to, hedge against the loss. So if you're earning these tokens, hopefully if you've made a loss, you earn these tokens, you can stake these in the future and hopefully earn some of your money back, or some of your tokens back.
Yes.
That's the idea.
Exactly. And the token will increase in price because we will decrease the minting rate. We will make it deflationary later on.
Very interesting.
I forgot to say that you can also use mint token in other activities like the IFO and the lottery and tons of other stuff.
Yeah, okay. So there's going to be a lot more utility around the token and being used elsewhere. So it's good to actually have.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So a lot of projects do token launches, whatever it may be. How are you guys doing it?
We have an airdrop for the testnet. So you guys know that Alonso is going to testnet soon, and DeFi protocol will deploy to testnet, and MinSwap will also deploy to testnet, and we invite the community to use our DEX, to test our DEX, and they will get a mint token as reward for their participate for the time, right? And when we launch on mainnet, they can use the airdrop token to provide liquidity and do farming to get more mint token, and that's basically how it goes.
Okay, that sounds really good. So no big buyout of mint tokens from whales or anything like that, and then dumping on the market. So we won't see any of that. So when you get mint token from you farming, you only get a percent of that, like 5 to 10%, and the rest is locked up in a vesting schedule. So it won't happen that there are some people go in you farming and then dump it again on the community. It will not happen like that because we have a lockup and vesting schedule. Yeah, great. That's fantastic. That's really good to hear. So just some a couple of a little bit further out there questions. In the future, we hopefully will see the interoperability between Cardano and other blockchains. Now, you're building this platform here, and it's, I'm assuming at the moment, just for tokens that are built on Cardano. Now, in the future, when we're starting to see the cross-chain working between Cardano and other ones, do you see ERC20 Ethereum tokens being swapped on this DEX as well?
Yes, of course. We have the ERC20 converter project that is also having a testnet soon. ERC20 converter is a bridge that transfer the token from Ethereum and maybe BSC to Cardano, and that will make it possible to trade Ethereum token on MinSwap.
That's pretty exciting. You know, it's kind of a big deal, you know, to have,
Yes.
you know, a DEX that can bridge between Binance Chain, Ethereum, and Cardano, and have all these different tokens being swapped back and forth. That's huge.
Yes,
Okay.
it is the future of the interoperability.
All right. You must be pretty excited building this at the moment. You know, with that kind of future and roadmap out there, you're putting together a DEX that's one of the projects that's putting together a DEX that can actually do this. Okay, so
Yes.
In terms of the roadmap and what's coming next for MinSwap, you're building up the interface, you're doing some integrations with the smart contracts. What's coming up next, and what should people be expecting?
So we are integrating with multi-hop swap now. Multi-hop swap is you can swap to multiple pool. So if you swap token A for token B, you can swap it through a ACCB pools like that. And next one we will finalize our incentivized testnet proposal, and then we launch it on Alonso testnet, and it's going to be a big event.
Okay, so this is about over the next 3 months or so?
We hope to launch the testnet on next month.
Ooh, okay, even sooner than I thought. Oh yes, the Alonso White should be launching at that time.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Yeah. Now, I also know that you have a Project Catalyst submission in the works at the moment for Fund 4, was it?
Yes. Okay. It's for Fund 5.
Fund 5. Okay, sorry. So you have the Project Catalyst submission for Fund 5. Now, what are you asking in that proposal? How much? And what are you planning to deliver?
So what we asked for in the proposal is $37,000, and is to pay salary for our team to work in 3 months, and also a bit for marketing and buying cold wallets. And so make sure to vote for us so we can have cold wallet that will make the treasury more secure.
All right, fantastic. Yeah. All right, so how can people find out more about the project and support you on Project Catalyst as well?
Yes, so first we have the Catalyst, and then make sure to follow us on Twitter. We have an NFT giveaway now. Make sure to retweet and have a chance to get it, because when you can sell it on NFT marketplace later on. And join our Discord and be in touch with our core community and our core team there, and follow our Reddit and ton of stuff.
Okay, great. I'll grab all those links off you, and I'll make sure I put them in the show notes for this podcast episode, and the YouTube links, etc. as well. And good luck with everything that you put together. And I'm looking forward to seeing this project at the end.
Thank you. Yeah.
All right. Awesome. Thank you. All right. So I hope you found that interview interesting and started to perk your interest in decentralized finance and how a decentralized exchange works, and how you could maybe take part in using a decentralized exchange and becoming a liquidity provider. Now, on the show notes for this podcast episode at cardano.com.au/EP014, I have a little bit more information and details about what all of these terms are, how they're defined. And if you want to learn a little bit more, you can find all of the comments and extra information all on our show notes. I've also posted a video which Long did, where he demonstrated the swap platform, the decentralized exchange, and the working Plutus code. So he has the two screens side by side, as well as a video overlay of himself. So you can see the code being executed in the background and interacting with the blockchain, as well as the front end of the website. So you can see exactly how it's going to look and what the user experience is like. He goes through the process of adding liquidity to the pool so that you can start providing trading power to the platform as well. So it's quite interesting to see how it works, especially if you've never used a decentralized exchange before. So I suggest you check that out and check out their YouTube channel as well. Now, for the month of July, I'll be going through more and more of this decentralized finance concepts and looking at DeFi Legos, or the building blocks of a decentralized finance solutions. So we'll be able to start looking at certain apps so that we can borrow, do loans, look at insurance, and all sorts of different types of finance, and using these different platforms, integrating them together so that we can build a whole package. And that's where the term Legos, or blocks, or building blocks of parts of the decentralized finance comes from. It's an interesting little term, and I'm just getting into it myself. So I'm going to share it all for the month of July for you guys so that you can find out more and more about it. I have a whole bunch of pretty exciting interviews as well that are coming up. They're all lined up all around decentralized finance. So make sure you subscribe on the YouTube channel as well as the audio podcast here, and you'll be sent them directly to your inbox, or your podcast box, or your YouTube, whatever it is, however it works. All right. So that's it for this podcast episode. And like I always say, please make sure you keep your seed phrases safe and secure. Make sure you keep them backed up. Okay. Thanks. Bye.
Yeah, gotta do it like that. You've been listening to the Learn Cardano podcast. Gotta get it hype. Crypto is what we like, but this is not investment or financial advice. Gotta do your research, cause it's risky. We know it is. This show is educational and it's informative. Crypto's the future, really, it ain't no debating. IOHK, Emergo, we're not affiliated, not Cardano Foundation. We just gotta say it, a show that you can learn, and it's for your entertainment. Yeah, you gotta check it, don't wanna be missing that. You were tuned in to the Learn Cardano podcast. Yeah, giving insight, ain't another show like this. When it come to crypto, invest at your own risk. Might not be for everyone, but who it is for, we keep giving you some info and plenty more. Hey, yeah, the Learn Cardano podcast. Hey, yeah, the Learn Cardano podcast. Thank you for tuning in. Keep it locked right here. Let's go.